Welcome back. We got Steve Adazio, the head coach of Boston College. Steve, talk about last year. You guys had a tough season in the ACC, very tough season. You had a couple games that you had a chance to win. That Florida State game, you held Florida State really to one touchdown. The only touchdown they got was an interception at the end of the game. And then you had a couple other games here and there. And that Notre Dame game, you got them, up against the wall at Fenway Park, literally up against the wall at Fenway, and had a chance, and somehow Notre Dame escaped. So what do you guys have to do to seal the deal this year? That hopefully those 3-point losses will turn to 3-point wins.
Well, as you said, we lost 5 games by 3 points or less, and that's with an elite defense and an offense that couldn't function. We had no returning starters on the offensive line. We lost our quarterback for the year in Game 3 against Florida State. We lost our star running back in Game 4 for the year with a broken foot. And we sustained several injuries along the way. And it's not an excuse, it's just a fact. We're playing with a walk-on quarterback, and you're not going to do real well in the ACC with the talent on defense that is in our conference.
Right.
In that scenario, we got beat up front, and we had no trigger man and nobody to run the football. So, that's why we were in those really low-scoring. Every game was a tight game, and they were all battles. And we came up short in every one of those ACC contests.
Mm-hmm.
So, the bad news is that's the fact.
Right.
The good news is we're as close to winning them as we are losing them, and as we get our quarterback situation back, our running back back, an experienced offensive line, I think we'll be right back in the middle of where we're supposed to be.
And you have a new quarterback that came from Kentucky. So what do you like having those fifth-year transfers? Like Florida State had one last year with Golston, years ago with other schools. Do you like that idea, having a guy coming from a different programs saying, hey, I want to play football, but I have one more year of eligibility?
I think it's just relative to where we are. When I took this program over, we had a senior quarterback in Chase Reddick. Then there really ended up not being another quarterback on the roster. Mm-hmm. So you've got to. I brought Tyler Murphy in. I recruited him. I coached him. I knew him. He was a great success for us. And last year we loved Darius Wade. Darius was our starting quarterback. We lost him against Florida State for the year. But behind him, we didn't have anybody. And the mistake I made last year is, honestly, I should have taken a fifth-year guy a year ago. But I wanted to be true to Darius because I felt like, I'm going to develop the young guy for the future. The problem was there was nobody behind him.
Right.
Now, I said, I can't live with that again. I've got to bring another guy with great experience in here. So we have 2 guys that we feel are talented enough and experienced enough to compete in this conference. So I'm not left, hopefully, at the hands again of a walk-on freshman. Or no disrespect to those guys, but it's really rough duty.
Yeah.
We brought in Patrick Tolles. He's an experienced veteran player. I love he can flat throw it. He's a 6'4.5", 255-pound guy with great speed and proven as a starter in the SEC. So, to answer your question, in a perfect world, you wouldn't be doing that every year,
right.
But you do what you have to do to put yourself in position to win, and that's a position where you can't mess around with it.
Yeah, and you're an old SEC guy coming from Florida, from the Gators, so you're used to that running gun with the SEC. So hopefully that guy has the same what you saw down there in Gainesville, bringing up to Chestnut Hill, and hopefully we'll see scores on the scoreboard like, wow, that's 45-0 Boston College. Wow, they got more points than we haven't seen in years.
Yeah, I don't know if you're ever going to see that. We're always going to be a team that's going to play great defense, run the football, and try to control that clock. But certainly, what you saw a year ago was completely unacceptable, and we're not going to see that again. But I think with the right quarterback and the right running back and a good offensive line, everything's possible for you. Everything.
Coach, got some Boston College fans that want to know about getting some explosiveness on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
Can you talk about maybe a freshman or two that's coming in that you're very high on that can make an impact this year?
It's hard when you talk about freshmen to me. That's what happened to us a year ago. Freshmen, generally speaking, are not really ready for that stage unless they have a great supporting cast, a veteran supporting cast around them. So, when I sit here and, you try to project out, and we have a young, exciting quarterback. We have, a couple of young, exciting offensive linemen coming in here. We've got guys that we feel in the back end have got speed, but I think we have a wonderful class. But we have so many sophomores and juniors right now that, that's the youth of our team. And I think the explosiveness of a guy like Mike Walker last year, who was a true freshman, I think Mike Walker is ready to come out and have a breakout year. He was a kick returner for us, and he's a wide receiver for us. That's a guy that I think will break out. Ben Wines, the receiver, I think has a chance to break out. I think Tom Sweeney, our tight end, has a chance to have a breakout year for us. We played with 2 true freshmen in the secondary, those corners. I think that we have a chance to have great cover with speed. Our team speed, this may be one of the faster BC teams ever. We've increased our athleticism and our team speed. What we lack right now is just flat game experience, which is critical. So the pieces are there. Now it's how fast can this team develop?
Coach, you mentioned about the personnel and how you kind of learned how to, maybe stack your cards up a little bit better. I'm always asking players, what do you do in the off season to be a better player, whether it's film study? What do you do in the off season to be a better coach?
I think you professionally develop. You visit with people. Like for example, you take an offense, whether maybe it's a concept of play that you think you need in your offense, and you go out to the people that run it the best and you study it. Whether it's fundamentally, different drills and things and coaching techniques. I think you constantly stay on edge. When I was the offensive line coach of Florida, I was constantly every year searching for better ways to teach my guys, different techniques, different, ways to teach combination blocking, pass protection. So I think on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, you're trying to professionally enhance. So we've done a lot of that this year.
Well, let's talk about your schedule. Who booked the trip to Ireland? How did that whole come about?
I mean, I don't know. That was an administrative deal, and I think it's a great deal for our program, for our kids. A great experience. It poses some challenges from a football standpoint, especially with a young team on the road in Europe, but opening with an ACC game. But I think the benefits and the positives outweigh the negatives, and I think it's going to be a great experience for our fans and for our players.
Yeah, I know last year we were talking about rivalries and all that stuff, and Miami hasn't played Boston College in a very long time.
Right.
Is Miami ever going to be back on that schedule?
I hope so.
Because because they had classic games like that Flutie game that my brother does not want to talk about.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right.
What do you think about those games? You don't have Notre Dame on the schedule this year for the first time in a while.
Well, Notre Dame now. I think it's every other year for us. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I would love to see us have an opportunity in the ACC to. A kid, to me, should come to Boston College and play every team at least once in the conference. We're locked into divisions right now, and I'd like to see that rotate around, but that's out of my control. Right. So I've been here now going into my 4th year, and haven't seen Miami, so I've never played against Virginia. I mean, stuff like that. But there's a lot of I'm not being critical because it's not easy. There's a lot of problems. To have that happen. But in a perfect world, I think it'd be great for a kid to be able to have exposure and play at least once. Miami.
Right, exactly.
It'd be great.
Yeah. So I met you when you were at Temple.
Yeah.
And then you went off to BC. You're in your 4th year at BC. Do you remember your 4th year at Temple, or did you only make 2 years at Temple and then you
2 years at Temple,
and then you hit the road to Boston College?
But my 2nd year at Temple was very similar. We played. We'd recruited really well there, and I played all those freshmen my 2nd year. We just went into the Big East, the old Big East, when they had everybody.
Right.
We were still playing Rutgers and Louisville, and we went in that first year. We won 4 games, and all of those guys we played, they were playing last year. Metakevich and all those guys.
Wow.
And so like anything else, man, that group of guys took their lumps as freshmen. By the time they got to be seniors, they had a pretty good football team. Maybe a little lesser. They weren't playing in that same, but we took them into the AAC. And so, it was an exciting time at Temple, and I really enjoyed it there.
Was that your first head coaching job?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll always remember that.
I had a great experience at Florida. When Coach Meyer had a leave of absence, I took the program over and ran it for 8 months. I had to complete the recruiting class and run that program. That was a really great experience for me. And so I like to tell you that I felt like when I went to Temple, I didn't feel like a first-time head coach. I had done it in the SEC in one of the most. We signed, the #1 recruiting class, and so I had been through hiring a defensive coordinator, hiring coaches, completing a recruiting class. So I went to Temple. I kind of knew what I was doing.
Right.
And it wasn't like, a lot of times when I think there's a learning curve there.
Right.
So I'm really grateful for that 8 to 10 month period I had at Florida. I think really prepared me well for that first true head coaching job at Temple. It was a good experience.
And plus, Philadelphia is a tough place to play no matter what. They boo you, either you're Santa Claus or if you would do something really dumb or something. Because I live like maybe 45 minutes away from Philly, and I hear stories all the time. But Philly is a great sports town.
It's a great sports town. There was a lot of challenges there, but I loved it. I mean, I love the city. I love the toughness of the area.
And good food, too.
I mean, some of the best. I mean, some of the Italian BYOB restaurants in Philadelphia are some of the best I've ever been anywhere. And I love the North End in Boston as well. But, I mean, Philly had some great spots. And as you can tell by looking at me, I frequented about every one of them. So.
Hey, maybe I might see you in Philly with the cheesesteak, probably.
Yeah.
Coach, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Good luck, and hope everything goes well this year.
Thanks, guys.
So, I was Coach Steve Ignacio, head coach of Boston College, and we almost had a food hour on FM radio there. What were we turning into the Food Network? I'm waiting for a guy for Eddie to stop by, Yeah. So, see, that's what we're talking about. Some surprises coming on the show this afternoon, this morning. So, I think Steve, Coach Ignacio, I think he had turned the right way. Because, like, if you look at their schedule, they couldn't. They had Notre Dame on the ropes, dude. They had Notre Dame at Fenway on the ropes, and somehow Notre Dame escaped. It was a Houdini act. He just escaped.
So did you guys want to go Louisville's 2 guys back to back?
Yeah, that worked.
I know you got Lamar coming up, but Keith don't have an obligation. So do you want him as well?
We'll take anybody. We got Lamar. We got Lamar coming up.
Lamar's coming up, and then Keith doesn't have an
We
obligation.
could actually do 2 of them right here at the same time. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Keith. All right, folks. This is live radio. When you're in live radio, you just do whatever you got to do. It's called improvise. So we're gonna get Gene Deckenhoff stopping by sometime soon. We'll take a trip down to Gene's place. See what's going on with the voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he was starting to tell me a story last night about Dungy. How Dungy got literally fired 2 years after, a year before they got John Gruden. And John Gruden was not their choice in Tampa Bay. It was Bill Parcells that was their choice. And Bill didn't want no part of it. And the big tuna did not want to put his boat in Tampa. So we're going to take a time out here, and when we come back, we will throw it. We'll have a double play of Cardinals. Not the St. Louis Cardinals, the Louisville Cardinals. Don't get me started with the St. Louis Cardinals. Old Met rivalry. So we'll be right back here on HerbFMSports.com live from ACC Kickoff.